What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Got a couple of quick duels for you guys to check out, showing you a spicy tech card for ABC and its players out there. ABC obviously will get a boost from Master Rule 5, and you guys will see that in this duel. Let's see, looks like he's dueling against SHS, Super Heavy Samurai, open with multiple kaijus, which I don't know if you want multiple kaijus if you're playing SHS. In your opening hand, probably want a couple more in-engine cards, or maybe Sekka's Light, something like that. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and roll it. I believe that it'll probably open up with that gold gadget normal summon, or it looks like he might just try to go for Union Hanger. We'll see if that's going to resolve. I think the effect's going to be Ghost Ogre here, and he actually is just going to pass with the two monsters on board. I expected him to go for like Bagusta, just in case. You generally want to make something defensive in case your opponent tries to pop off a Beast Dweller, Bagusta, something to kind of stop them. But he says, no cap, I'm just going to leave my two monsters and pass. His opponent playing SHS unfortunately breaks and just sets one, and I was like, damn dude, that's really bad. And it feels even worse because look at the top card on his deck. The top card on his deck currently is Sekka's Light, and we all know how good that card can be because Sekka's Light is basically like a draw 3. You get to draw 2 cards, and then you can put one back and draw another to potentially fix your hand, so he would have been able to put back like one of these kaiju monsters. It probably would have gotten him exactly where he needed to go had he drew the Sekka's Light instead of drawing this, random Soulfire SHS card. Anyways, let's see what the Future Fusion can do. He's going to be able to send, by playing Cyber Dragon, about every single ABC piece from his deck to the graveyard, and this is where the card's going to pay off because we know that in Master Rule 5, you don't have to use Link monsters to summon those copies of Buster Dragon. So he can summon one, then he can summon a second copy, and if you load your graveyard up well enough, plus use a couple of cards in your hand, you can summon 3 copies of Buster Dragon in a single turn. I believe that he also just banished his opponent's face down monster, this is a Trumpeter, I believe. Yep, Trumpeter got banished, and that is more than enough damage on board to be able to kill his opponent because 3 Buster Dragons is, it's 9,000 damage, so you're obviously going to be able to kill your opponent. Second duel is going to feature a pretty spicy Desperation play that I really dug. Looks like we have Lair of Darkness and Infernoids, and they're going to be dueling off against the Shino Bird archetype, and I don't think either one of these archetypes is going to be affected by Master Rule 5. Like Infernoids, they play Extravagance. They don't really care about their extra deck all that much, and pretty much every ritual deck in the Vrains era kind of plays Extravagance as well. When you're ritual summoning, you're also just really not, you don't really care about your extra deck that much. Let's see what's going to happen. I believe the Lair deck is up first, not really going to do all that much. Probably just summon Arima, draw a card, get a token, and then just kind of pass turn from there. I think the Shino Baroness Peacock will be summoned in the first turn. If you're playing Shino Birds, of course you want to get those incantations running, and it's going to be interesting because when she tries to activate her effect, she's going to be met with Super Polymerization. Since all the monsters on the field are Dark Attribute, he can use everything on the field. He can summon that Predaplant monster, the one that requires 3 dark monsters on field, and he can clear the board completely. Now he will be able to go for the Shino Baron Peacock and spin it back to the extra deck, get a little bit of damage right there, and then I think it's going to bounce itself during the end phase. He'll get some tokens because Shino Birds are randomly spirit monsters. I don't know why Konami thought that was a good idea. Ritual monsters that are also spirits, like what? What the fuck were they thinking? And they put it in the same set as Zodiac too. Anyways, I think that he got Void Feast, which obviously is a very powerful card. It can pull out your Infernoid monsters, and usually those monsters can get you negation by copying other monsters' effects. He will use that, and he'll get a couple of Decatrons, fair enough, and then the Sujin. So I don't think I pronounced that correctly. I can never pronounce this card's name correctly. I mean, Sjette, like what is that even pronounced? He is going to try to activate a couple of ritual spells, but his opponent is probably going to negate those cards as he activates Shino Bird's Calling. He clearly has like the idea of, I'm not going to let you ritual summon. Keep in mind when you're playing against Shino Birds, generally when they have a ritual monster in hand because they're spirits, they bounce themselves back to the hand. So he's like, Cap, I'm not going to let this guy ritual summon, and he's going to negate not 1 but 2 copies. And this is where it gets interesting. He says, you know what, screw this, Cap, I'm just going to go for the Nibiru normal summon He just normal summons Nibiru using the incantation monsters on field and says beatdown damage is always effective, especially when the opponent doesn't have a field. So he just summons Nibiru, and you know, this is where the Shino Bird tokens actually having stats can be effective. Like, it can work in your favor. Usually tokens don't really like matter that much unless you're using them for link summons, but these two tokens give you 3,000 damage on board, so it gives his field a total of 6 grand, and he did attack with that Baron during the last turn, and that is exactly enough for game. Actually, I think it's 500 over game, but it's enough for him to just, you know, essentially win the duel. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the short duels. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.